In this clip, we are going to add a big explosion in the sky. We will use Nuke 3D and the techniques to integrate it properly in the middle of the clouds. So between the previous clip and this clip, I just cleaned a little bit my script. I create a backdrop called deep and put all the deep nodes in it, as well as a backdrop for the sky, and I made a little bit of room between the clouds and the plane because this is where I'm going to add my explosion. So alright, so let's hit the R key to create a renode, and I will navigate to my course material folder. Inside stock footage, inside explosion, I will grab the explosion.exr sequence. I will click on open and I will preview it. And as you can see, this is a basic 2D fireball with no alpha. So I will need to work a little bit in order to integrate it properly in my main comp. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to do is to place this element on the card. So we'll hit tabulation and create a card. Now I will connect my viewer to it and jump into the 3D viewer, and I will double click on my card to make sure I'm seeing it. And here it is, my card. So it's quite small for now, but I have no clue of the size it should be. So same as we did earlier for the background, I will display my deep to point here for my clouds. So I just need to double click on that guy. There we go. And now I will be able to scale my explosion according to that. So we'll come back to my card and let's put something quite big for now. Okay, 100. At least I can see where is my card. Now maybe I will place it. So I will need to rotate it a little bit. So if you hold the Command and Control key, you can rotate your card. So you want it to be in front of the camera. And I don't know, something like right in the middle of my clouds. So for now, the placement and the scale of my explosion is pretty rough, but we are going to be able to adjust that when we are going to visualize that in 2D. So now I will need to create a scanline render again. And of course as well, hook up my shot cam. So I could either copy that camera or link all my elements to the shot cam. And I really prefer that technique because if you have to change the shot cam in your comp, you will just have to replace only one node instead of going through all the duplicated nodes in your comp script. And I will just make it clean by creating this little dot here. Alright, and now with the M key, I will create merge nodes and merge my explosion to the main tree. And now we can visualize our explosion on the top of our clouds. So of course it doesn't work because we don't have an alpha, but at least we can see that the explosion is following the shot properly according to the camera. Okay, so now a couple of things to adjust first. So first I'd like to get rid of the black around my explosion. And for that I will need to create an alpha channel for my explosion. And I could do that using its luminance. So for that I will create a keyer node. And that keyer will allow me to create an alpha from the luminance of my RGB. So we'll switch to the alpha with the A key, and I will drag that guy toward the left to crank up the white values of my luminance keyer and get a less transparent alpha. It doesn't have to be perfect, it should work alright like that. Okay, now let's see if it integrates better in my main tree. And yeah, it's amazing. Well, of course, it doesn't look much like good integration for now, but we are going in the good direction. So I will work on the look of my explosion a little bit later. For now, I will work on its integration through the clouds. And right now, I will use as well deep information for doing that. And you will be surprised, but I'm gonna use a deep holdout again. And it will be like, yeah, but we don't have any deep paths for our explosion. Well, actually, yes, we have one, because the scanline render is outputting deep informations. So this is awesome. I can connect my deep holdouts right after my scanline render and use as a holdout my deep clouds. And there we go. Now my explosion is located right in the middle of the clouds, where I positioned it in my 3D space. Now, as I'm scrolling through my shots, you can really see the impact of the clouds masking more or less some of the areas of my explosion. Okay, so now that we set up the deep holdout, let's adjust the position of the explosion. Okay, so we'll jump to the 3D viewer to adjust the position of my card. So I'll select my card that way. Maybe I'm going to move it closer to the camera. Yeah, something like that. Maybe a teeny bit higher and move it a little bit on the left. And maybe make sure that my card is well oriented. We could just round up this value to -45 here. Okay, cool. Let's jump back to the 2D mode. And this looks about right. I'd just like maybe to adjust a teeny bit the scale and maybe put 80 here. Okay, so now we are going to work on the integration of the explosion, and we are going to work on that in the next clip. So see you there.